I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know that?
Oh, I think it's on again. Okay, so I'm sorry.
The Fritz, what was that?
Okay.
Frizzly Pitzman?
Okay.
So I don't know where the image here left off, but we were talking about how Milton had fixed up his sister with Melvin Pitsley, although I heard a comment you thought that your sister was better than him.
That's right.
Yeah, you said he was quite friendly.
Yes,
so
he was very friendly.
You were just protective of your sister?
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, it worked out well.
I guess so.
But and I went through high school with Bill Pitsley. We both graduated the same year. And even though I'm, I think 5 months older than Bill, that's it. But that has nothing to do with anything. And what else? Can't think of it.
Well, that's
the
okay.
mind isn't working that good.
I think it's working excellently.
Okay.
If you want a moment, I can pause too, and but we're on a roll.
Yeah. So.
Did we hear about the part in New York?
In New York, what?
With the produce market in New York?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you heard.
Okay, thank you, because I was paying attention to equipment.
You said it.
Okay.
They say he had a
Thank you.
produce store,
All right.
and he worked like a damn dog, in that business. And that's when his brother Max talked him into coming to this area.
Yes.
And he set him up in a grocery store.
Yes.
And that's how he got into the grocery business at that time.
Well, and then of course your father remarried. That was a whole other
right.
thing.
And that's so.
Our father.
Yeah, I introduced. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think I introduced Irma to my father, and then I was dating Sally, my wife, my future wife. I was dating her, and I was wondering why my father didn't need a car on the weekend, because, and I didn't know that Irma would drive our car to my father's, and they would go out. I had no idea that they were going out.
Oh.
And so one day, Irma shows me an engagement ring, and I said, I said, she was one of the older sisters in the Pitsley, and I figured she's going to end up an old maid. And I says, oh, fantastic! I saw the engagement ring. I said, who's the lucky guy?
I remember.
And she says, it's your father. Can you imagine the shock?
Yes.
I thought, number one, that my father was over the hill. He's too old for anything like going out with women and stuff like that. And then after she got married and everything, then I got married shortly after, because I didn't feel obligated to be with my father. I could do whatever I wanted. And then one day, then Irma, let's see, I got to get it right now. Then he had 2 kids, and I got married and had 2 kids too. They were close in age. Gail was older than Janice, and then
Arthur and Paul.
Arthur and Paul.
Yeah, Arthur's older than.
Arthur's older than Paul, so they were, I don't know what, 2 years older, year and a half difference in age. So basically, my kids and his kids, my father's kids, were in the same age category. So that was an interesting.
And hence really begins the reunion of the Friedman Pitsleys.
That's how the Friedman Pitsley clan happened to fuse together and live happily ever after.
That is well said.
Okay.
You can speak up.
Yeah.
When you lived in New York,
Yeah.
you saw the submarines.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I could trace back. You want me to trace back?
Yeah, go back to the
Okay.
submarines in New York.
Okay, I go back. We used to every Sunday we go to the beach. This was in New York. It was called Far Rockaway Beach. My father had this big produce truck, and we'd all pile onto this truck, and we go to Far Rockaway Beach and go swimming during the war. And during the war, these planes were flying pretty low, you know, searching for submarines that were running close to the shore. And so one day they let us swim in the beach. And then there were times we couldn't swim on the beach because one of those submarines sunk a ship, a freighter or something like that, and there was oil all over the water, so we couldn't go in the water. But during the day, it was fairly safe because the submarines wouldn't dare. They go further out to sea, deep in the water. But there were times that I remember I'd hear a big, because we lived close to the beach, not too far. And when one of those ships got hit by a torpedo, you heard it. And I heard it. And then I found out later that they sunk a ship.
So there were enemy submarines.
Yeah, enemy submarines. And they were active through almost the end of the war, even though a lot of them got sunk by mines and stuff like that. But it was, we had, well, I told them, oh yeah, and then my father's truck had to be not taken over by the government.